Alright guys, I'm working on my old John Deere lawnmower here. I believe this is of 1994, STX46. This same concept probably applies to a lot of the same mowers, John Deere mowers from the 90s era here. Issue I'm having specifically on this one right now is the PTO switch is not staying up while I'm trying to mow. So this here activates the mower deck. It's a PTO. You pull it up to activate this one. For whatever reason, I haven't seen this before, but it's failing because it will just disengage by itself after a couple minutes of mowing. So we're going to replace the whole switch. I've actually already replaced the whole ignition on this before. So like I said, this is from, I believe, 94. So it's pretty old. This is definitely the original switch. So I found a new one online, pretty cheap. I think this is about 15 bucks on eBay. Definitely not the highest quality, but it will work. So let's dig into this one. We'll get it pulled apart. Looks like the only thing we're really gonna need is a screwdriver to pry on this. Sorry, train was going by. So let's dig into this. Like I said, you're just gonna need a screwdriver to pry on the tabs here. You can see on the new one, it has tabs all the way around. And we're going to try and press those in. It's actually pretty difficult. You do want to be careful with this plastic. It's probably pretty fragile. We'll see if I can do it without shattering it. This mower is very old. So there's a little black connector that goes on the pins on the bottom. I'm going to gently wiggle that thing off. There's that one. It looks like. I'm going to speed this part up a little bit. Eventually I get smart enough to actually unplug everything and just take the entire assembly here to the bench so we can actually yank on this a little bit better. Alright, we're going to take the whole thing off. Just unplug the ignition switch, that way you can get some more space on it and fight it on the table. So let's move over to the table. Alright, we're over to the workbench. We're going to see if we can get a little bit easier work done on here. You can see up inside there's little plastic tabs on each corner. It's really hard to push all of them at the same time and get it popped up out of here. So I've been trying to do it. Down here. So I'm actually probably going to do, because I know this one's bad, I'm going to try and pry up under each of these and snap off the plastic. Probably not the right way to do it, but I'm having a real hard time otherwise, so we're going to do that. There we go. Alright. That was pretty difficult. You can see it on, I ended up breaking these ones on purpose, but I left these on. But it feels like it's working fine in your hand. It's just not doing its job. So let's go back onto the mower and pop the new one in here. Super simple. This literally just gets pressed in there and these tabs do their job. So I'll take it, line it up with the spot. Kind of give it some pressure and wiggling down there. these ones are not gonna be coming out easy, so. You may actually have to trim it up. I probably should have on this one with how tight it's going, but I might be able to shove it down in there. Okay. I'm going to leave this one like this for now. I'll probably come back and trim the edges just a hair so I can press it down all the way. But it's actually in there super firm right now, so this will get us going for now. Let's go back over, plug the connectors in, and do all that. Alright, we're ready to put it back on here. This is the connector we're going to plug it into. This is just the ignition. Super simple, just plug it up. One thing you should try before you go ahead and buy a whole new switch on one of these is, especially if yours is the original, get some electrical cleaner spray. It's really cheap. Spray all the way up in here. Same with this one. And see if that solves your issue, because sometimes that's really all it is. These just get dirty. Another tip is, especially if you have to leave your mower outside, I really try not to do that with mine just because how old it is and these electrics are a little more fragile. You can spray a little bit of WD-40 in these connectors and that resists water. That's actually what the WD stands for in WD-40. It's water displacement. It's really actually a misconception that it's a penetrant. It's actually not. But alright, we'll line this guy up here. I'm going to do the ignition coil first, actually. Get that on. And this guy. And that is it. Like I said, this one's sticking out. It's a little ugly right now, but it is working. I'm going to go back and trim and press that all the way in, but there we go. We're back in business. Pretty simple, straightforward. Just a little finicky and fragile with that old plastic, but that's all. Thanks for watching.